Welcome SAO survivors to This Week in SAO for all your weekly Sword Online news. Now, if you didn't realize the past 2 weeks, tomorrow is the release date of Sword Online Volume 26 Unital Ring V. A lot of you have already received their volumes last week. Since I live in the middle of mountains in Innsbruck, I have not, so if you got it, consider yourself lucky. But the chance for those early pre-orders are pretty much done. You know, the book is coming out tomorrow. If you want to get it, I'll still put the Amazon and Book Depository links down below in the description. I still recommend Book Depository for timely early deliveries. But if you're not gonna get the book but still are interested in the contents of the book itself, we do have a Sword Online Wikia podcast covering Unital Ring V. You can watch that by clicking the icon on the top right corner. With that, we're moving straight into KiriAsu Corner, which you guys seem to be, enjoying quite a bit if I look at the retention graphs. But during the weekend, I actually asked all of you on Twitter as well as on my YouTube community tab to tell me what your favorite moments of KiriAsu were. There were quite a lot of responses, but one of the common ones, aside from, the ending of Aincrad, the ending scene of Alicization and those kinds of stuff, it included one of my favorites as well, which is the ending scene of Scherzo of Deep Night, not the movie version, specifically the book version. In the books, Kirito actually gets ambushed by Pooh on his own while going to replenish the drinks, and once he deflects Pooh, it immediately dawns on him that Pooh may actually go in after Asuna next, and he, without a second thought, just rushes back to the party area to see Asuna perfectly safe and sound. That was one of those moments, the terror Kirito feels just to go protect Asuna. That was one of the highlights of the entire story, in my opinion. There are plenty of reasons why Scherzo is among the best SAO stories, if not the best SAO story, if you ask me. But those kinds of emotional bursts, without giving a second thought, the characters do. Both Asuna and Kirito have those moments in Scherzo, but this one is the most intense one. They really put the cherry on top for Scherzo, in my opinion. So that was my KiriAsu moment for you in This Week in SAO, and with that we're moving over to a new Sword Online project actually. This one is interesting. We don't know much about it yet, but this year, 2023, Dengeku Bunko imprint, which SAO belongs to, are celebrating their 30th anniversary, and on their 30th anniversary page, they have listed Sword Online to get a new spin-off series by a famous author. Now, what I expect from this is something probably similar to the two alternative series that we have. We have Alternative Gun Gale Online by Keiichi Sixawa and Alternative Clover's Regret by Watase Soichiro. So basically an entirely original cast set in a world that's been name dropped but never actually explored properly. Alternative Gun Gale Online, of course, takes place in Gun Gale Online, whereas Clover's Regret takes place in the Asuka Empire game that Yuki had played in the past. Now, I have, right from the get-go, two potentials here that have been name dropped previously as well as in Unital Ring as well, one of them at least. The first one being Insect Sight or Insect Sight, depending on which translation you're looking at. It's Insect Sight if you specifically look at the Japanese one. It's a game that Egil's wife plays, and it has been mentioned by Yuki during Mother's Rosario as well. It's this world where you play as a variety of bugs. We're getting more information on how the game used to play before the Unital Ring incident in the Unital Ring books, but that is a potential possibility. Potential already means possibility. Second one is another prominent appearance in Unital Ring, and it's been mentioned for the first time in Unital Ring as well, if I'm not mistaken. It's called Apocalyptic Date, where you're basically... Remember the bazooka tiger person in ordinal scale? Imagine that, but in VR. It should be something similar to that, where it's furries playing with guns and all that kind of stuff. As far as we know, we barely know anything. But those are the two games that I see as potentials at the moment. Unless, you know, they got something like Ordinal Scale, that is still a potential since Ogma still exists, or a completely original game that has never been mentioned before. For that, we'll have to wait and see for future announcements. And of course, once we have those announcements, I will let you know immediately in a twist video. So make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon. And while you're, you know, scrolling down there, you may as well hit the like button. It does help a lot. But Dengeki's 30th anniversary is not the only anniversary that we are going through right now. It is the 10th anniversary of the coming to existence of the SAO Gameverse series with Sword Art Online Infinity Moment. The game had come out on the original PSP back on March 14, 2013. It has indeed been 10 years since the entire story has spun off from Kirito and Heathcliff's duel into what we know as the Gameverse today. Of course, Infinity Moment was only available on PlayStation Portable, which was later remade into Hollow Fragment with the addition of the Hollow Area campaign and all that kind of stuff. But in the past, we actually used to get special illustrations on Beeder's Cafe for these kinds of, you know, anniversary occasions. We don't seem to be getting them anymore this year, which is kinda sad, but still, 10 years, that is a massive accomplishment for Yosuke Futami, the SAO Gameverse lead producer, of course, who is right now working on Sword Art Online Last Recollection that is to come later this year. And before we move on to the actual game news that we have, once again, Nekobyou Neko is on a roll, this time providing us a lovely rain illustration, of course introduced in Lost Song. And Neko's illustrations, they're always incredibly cute. With that, we're going into the mobile games, so moving on with Lightning Round. Sword Art Online Variant Showdown popularity seems to be recovering slightly actually, which is a surprise and also not really a surprise. The current event, the raid boss battle, hasn't been quite interesting, and based on the fact that I am not playing the event properly and still am not dropping in ranks, suggests that other people are not very interested in this event either. But it seems like the step up scouts have actually done their trick, and the popularity is now on a slight increase once again, allowing them to have that recovery. Speaking of the raid event, we are now in the second half of the event and only 3 days to go actually. With the second half, we have the extra difficulty boss battle and more rewards added to the reward track as well. And please don't forget to go into the rewards and check the cumulative rewards for the community effort as well. Most people gloss over on that. There are plenty of things to claim on that bar too. Once this event runs out, we're probably gonna get the monthly limited battle thingy once again, where you pick the debuffs and get rewards based on how many debuffs you actually have on yourself, or buffs on the boss, of course. As for the raid battle, hasn't been really engaging for me. You know, it's 5 minutes, 300 seconds that you just hit the boss, try to do as much damage as possible, and it just feels so aimless. I feel like I really don't have a goal, you know. I always compare this to FGO's raid bosses, where they have health gates. I despised health gates when I was playing FGO, but now that I'm fighting a raid boss without a health gate, I feel like I understand why the health gates exist. They actually provided me a target goal to achieve, you know. I was trying to optimize myself and trying to reach that health goal without having to do a second run. That was quite the motivation when I was playing them. So I hope they come up with some changes to how the raid battles function in Variant Showdown to make it, you know, a little bit more exciting, a little bit more less aimless, let's say. And of course, today or tomorrow evening on Reset, we're probably gonna get one more chapter of the main story as well. We tend to get those once a week. With that, we are moving over to Sword Art Online Integral Factor, of course. There is a story event going on right now, a loose adaptation of the Caliber side story with a lot of client screen time, and a beautiful gem of a Kirito expression that you'll see in the gallery image over here. The event comes with a Shinon skill as well as a sword skin as part of the rewards, among many others. Pastel Maid Order is live, featuring Sachi, Shirika, Alice, and Asuna. Had to check that out real quick. can't seem to be able to memorize 4 names back to back for some reason. We have the main Guild of Guild event beginning again, if anyone's playing the guild stuff. We have the lovely spring selection order, which features a lot of skills with a spring theme all around it. It is also guaranteed 4-star, by the way, at full price. The White Day Assault event has the extra difficulty, or whatever it's called in Integral Factor, that I never play, as well as new rewards added to the event. And of course, last but not least, raising skills, I believe. Yes, build up skills with Shinon event is happening as well. That's all the news we have this week. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, and I will see you all in the next one. We were actually supposed to have a translation corner this week of R.E. Einkrad manga, but it seems like we didn't get to publish it yet. Check the description. If we publish it, I will add it to the description within today. And stay cool until next time. Bye bye.